All right, 1, 2, 3. All right, what's up, man?
What's up?
Long time no. It's been a while.
It has. It's been what, 3 months, 3 or 4, something like that.
It was October, I think, last time you were on. So it's good to have you back, man. I'm really interested in talking with you today. I know you had a lot of opinions the last couple of months.
I'm bummed out though because nothing important has happened since October.
Well,
There's nothing else to talk about.
There's nothing else to talk about, but
there's not.
That's why I got you on here today. So first off, what is your opinions on the election? I have to know this. I know you've been made known, but please.
Forgot the election did happen, didn't it?
It did. So we can't take that back. So that happened.
All right. None of that went any way that I thought it was going to at all. I didn't think that Biden was going to win. Definitely didn't think that he would win by the amount that he won. And I sure as hell didn't see the aftermath coming.
So you didn't think Biden was going to win at all?
No. I gave him like a 2% chance.
Really? You had Trump winning.
Oh, 100%, dude. 100%. It wasn't even a political thing. It was just the turnout for Trump compared to Biden was crazy.
So would you think in like a Reagan landslide or something like a Bush Gore type thing winning?
I was thinking it was going to be more Reagan 2016 type. Trump blew him out of the water. Yeah, I did. I thought it was going to be bad.
Wow. So, see, I remember there early in the night when Trump was actually winning, and like I was going back and forth between Fox. I would watch CNN, all that good stuff, and like Fox was actually like they were almost everyone on Fox was thinking they're going to win.
Yeah.
And then it just went south, and then you go to CNN. They were kind of depressed at first, and then but yeah, I thought Trump was going to win. I really did.
Those pesky mail-in votes. It turns out that those things are legitimate, and they caused a lot of turnout.
Yeah. Oh, that's So you don't think there was any issues when it comes to mail-in ballots, adding the votes, like, dead votes, you could call it. So you don't think any of that happened, conspiracy-wise?
Any of it, yeah. I mean, stuff happened. I don't remember where she was. There was a woman arrested for massive voter fraud in one of the states. Things do happen, but they happen every election. Yeah. Was there enough fraud to actually make Biden win even though he lost? No. Because here's what happened after that. I don't know how much you followed it, but the whole thing Trump ran on after that about Dominion software, they sent everyone involved, from OAN to Trump to Giuliani, cease and desist orders. They're suing Sidney Powell. They wouldn't do any of that if they had anything to hide. Because the moment that goes to trial, they have to show everything. Okay. So as far as there being enough fraud to where it actually swayed the election, no. But did fraud happen? Of course it did. It happens in every election. That's just how it goes.
Well, it was crazy. The whole thing seemed once the election was over. Okay, we'll get back to that as well. But once the election was over, you had Trump saying, "Oh, this and that," and then I don't know if you heard or not, like the whole thing in Georgia or whatever. Like him, like, man, like I don't know, was that true? Like him actually calling, like, "Yo, I need to find like 11,000 votes."
Yeah, I listened to the whole audio. It's tricky because I don't want to say it was misrepresented because it's what he says. The context of it more came off like, hey, I know you can do it. Find me these votes. It wasn't, hey, I need you to find me these votes. You're going to find these votes. Yeah. It's like he said it, but he wasn't trying to.
Like he wasn't meaning like basically, hey, man, find me some 11,000 votes. Right. Like, what can you do, man? There's 11,000 votes out there for me.
I have nothing to base this on, but what I think happened was Trump lost this election, and we know he's a narcissist, right?
Yeah.
The dude thinks he's just the greatest guy that's ever lived in the history of the world. No ifs, ands, or buts. And he had those few people surrounding him, like Flynn and Sidney Powell and Giuliani, who were going, hey, there's no way that you lost this election. It was totally fraudulent. And in his mind, he went, damn, they're probably right. Because I have a really hard time believing this dude went on Twitter for weeks screaming that it was fraudulent, was calling up the Secretary of Defense and all these people saying it was fraudulent if he didn't actually believe it himself. Maybe I'm giving him too much credit. Maybe he knew the whole thing was bullshit, but I want to believe that he believes it was stolen from him.
I think he'll believe that to the day he dies. I really do.
I think he's gonna believe a lot of crazy shit until the day he dies.
I think there is his base will believe that.
Oh, they will. They will.
For the rest of their life. There is nothing, and there is nothing that you could tell them. You know what I'm saying? Like, hey man, you lost. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Or whichever. They're gonna believe that. And that's a code of personality that he does have.
He does.
He does, and you know, whether it's for good or bad, his base will follow him to wherever he goes.
That they will. They have proven that.
Yeah, they will. I mean, and that's
the problem he's going to have with that is he just split the Republican Party, and it's what I secretly want. I like this two-party system to fail.
Yeah,
it's going to backfire as soon as election time comes around again.
Yeah, I mean it's a little now to that point, that QAnon and the whole conspiracies and the like. I think they're batshit.
Dude, they are. They're absolutely batshit.
I mean, they are. Not everything is a conspiracy. Don't get me wrong. I love a good conspiracy, you know,
right.
that, but it's batshit. I don't know. But, and then it all ties in the whole Capitol thing. Like with that, like, did he really, was that his fault that he started that, you know, this and that? And that just shows you how powerful someone can be. Like, just to like other people, you know, that code of personality that, hey man, you know, I'm not gonna say, hey, go to the Capitol and do this, but you know what I mean. You know?
Right.
So what's your feelings on that?
There's a lot to unpack with that. You wanted to start with Q?
Yeah, please go. Yeah.
Look, I gave them the benefit of the doubt because, like you, I love conspiracy theories. Yeah. They are legitimate ones. We've talked about them on here before. The basis, you may know this, but for anyone that doesn't, the basis of QAnon basically says that Donald Trump, of all the people in the world, decided to run for president because he wanted to take down these interdimensional child molesters that have infiltrated the government and the deep state, whatever they are. But they go so far with this that they say that Trump colluded with Russia on purpose, just so Mueller would investigate, so he could get Mueller to investigate the Democrats. And that's just like the very, very tip of the iceberg. But if you start tracing Q back, it starts, I might be messing it up by a few months. I think it's October 2017 was the first Q post. And it was on 4chan. And if you trace everything back, it was a troll job. These people got on there and they were going to troll the president. And at some point in time, enough people thought it was going to be real that they bought into it and they've created an actual Q persona. So now it's a real life thing. But the whole thing started as a joke.
Nice. So, man, I mean, so do you think that he did the whole thing at the Capitol? I mean, I know the whole Russian thing in 2016. You know, I think that was false. I don't believe it.
I agree with that.
I don't think anything like that was. Now, with the Capitol thing, you know, that's a whole other ballgame.
Right.
Is he guilty or is he not guilty?
It's both in a way. He's responsible to an extent. Obviously, he wasn't on TV. He wasn't on Twitter saying, go physically storm the Capitol. But any sane person, left, right, center, knew damn well when that many people showed up at that Capitol, there was going to be violence. There was going to be an issue. And the fact that it took him so long in that particular day, not, like days later or anything, to get back on Twitter and tell them to go home and be peaceful shows that's the part that gets me.
Yeah.
Because you got to think, and I don't want this to sound like a comparison on purpose. Charles Manson never told anyone to kill anyone.
Yeah.
Charles Manson was found guilty. Trump is not anywhere close to Manson. Nothing like that. It's just, if you can get people to do stuff without saying it explicitly, are you guilty? And that's the question.
Yeah.
But luckily, I'm not a member of Congress, so I don't really give a shit. I don't have to convict him or exonerate him. That's up to them.
Yeah,
If I was, personally, I would exonerate him just on the fact there's no real evidence that he did any of it.
And he's out of office. I mean, I think the main thing that they're wanting to do, though, is not let him run again. I think that's the main purpose of this whole thing. Does he need to run again? No. I really think there needs to be an age limit.
Yeah, I do too.
At 70, you have no business. You have no business running for any type of office, period. So I think, that's probably the main reason. The whole Twitter thing, him shutting them down, Facebook, whatever. I think that's a little overboard with it.
Yeah.
I think that's a slippery slope when that does happen, regardless if you like the guy or not.
Well, we've already seen it since then.
Yeah,
they kicked Trump off. They said, look, Trump's dangerous. We got to kick him off there. People are like, okay, yeah, we get it. Within a week, they were kicking off people on the right that just shouldn't have been kicked off of there.
Yeah, even if they're putting some BS out there. Most of them like the conspiracies and everything like that. And that's the world we live in today. Some people will believe that.
Yep.
So I kind of see where they're coming from, but I don't think they should be banned.
Right.
It's just, I don't know.
My issue with all that is Jack Dorsey, before the election, testified under oath to Congress. It was either Senator Cruz or Haley. I forget which one talked to him. The other one talked to Zuckerberg. Both Dorsey and Zuckerberg said that their Twitter and Facebook, they were private companies, which they are, but they also said they couldn't influence an election. That's bullshit. Because it's always a tricky thing for me to talk about because people can't comprehend how just in the middle I am. But when you look at Twitter and you look at Facebook, what kind of stories come out from the left and what kind of stories come out from the right? It's been 3 months now. What do we know about Hunter Biden's emails? Or his laptop, whatever. Nothing. That was a real story. That was a legitimate story that they buried before the election. But at the same time, they're allowed to give Trump a 97% horrible coverage rate. And then you want to get under oath and say that you can't influence an election. Yeah, you can.
No,
when your companies are that big and all you do is shit on the Republicans and defend the Democrats, you're going to sway in an election.
Yeah. Yeah. And I will say this, when it comes to Trump, I didn't vote for him neither times, but you have to say, at least for me, through the 4 years that he was president, not everything he did was bad.
Of course not.
I think he did some good things, like foreign policy wise, the whole thing with China. I think he did some good domestic stuff. Now, but his problems, you could say, was one, Twitter. He didn't know when to stay off of it. You ask a lot of people, they're like, what is a couple of the things that you don't like about Trump or you can't stand about him? Twitter. If he would just stay off Twitter, right? Okay.
Pretty much.
Charlottesville. Okay. He had an opportunity to come out and be like, yo, I condemn you guys. But did he? No.
Nope.
That was strike two. Okay. And a lot of people, of color or whatever, they're like, he doesn't stick up for me. And why should they think that? Why should they think differently? Because of that. And then you have the thing over the summer, all the riots and everything. Then you have the coronavirus. If it wasn't for coronavirus, I think he would have skidded by and won.
I do too.
With everything else, as bad as it was. But I think he still would have won decently if it wasn't for COVID. If it wasn't for coronavirus and his handling of it, I think he handled it shittily.
Oh, it was horrible. Yeah.
I think he could have done better. Instead of point fingers, whatever. So there is others in between, but I just don't think that he could have done more domestically, I think, to bring people together in a way.
Right. Yeah, he definitely wasn't a unifier. He unified his base. That was about it.
Yeah, he gave a voice to a minority group that did not have a voice for a very, very long time.
Right. And they need a voice, and I agree with that. But the problem you had was you ignored the rest of the country.
Exactly. This group here that he ignited, right? These people were so upset for the last 8 years. And they're, just like, man, we ain't getting hurt, and it just slowly started building. And then Trump comes out in 2015. Let's build a wall. Let's do this. Let's do that. And it speaks to them, rightfully or wrongly, it does, and that's the problem. And it started just slowly building. And then it culminated, on January 6th, whatever day it was, at the Capitol.
Right.
After that, I lost a lot of respect for Trump in a way. I don't think his followers are bad people. I don't think they just right. Now the people that want to kill people and do all that dumb shit, yes, they deserve to go to jail. But
yeah. Now, the part on that really, really got me was that they were out of the Capitol trying to storm it. They were trying to hang Mike Pence. And knowing this, Trump got on Twitter and put, is Mike Pence not going to do the constitutional thing and overturn the election? Yeah. To me, that's putting a target on his fucking head. The one guy that stood by him for 5 years, and I don't like Mike Pence at all, but this dude stood by Trump for 5 entire years. Through all the controversy, all the bullshit, there are threats on his life, and Trump's just egging him on Twitter.
Yeah.
That right there, that was the moment I knew we fucked up.
Yeah.
That was when we fucked up.
I did feel bad for Pence.
I did too. I think he came out of this looking a lot better. I really do.
I think he did. Now, will he run in 2024?
I think he might, but he's definitely not going to get it.
No, I think he'll think about it. I think he might run a little bit, but he did. I really did feel bad for him. I think he got the shit in the stick. I think Trump left him out to dry.
He did.
But
here's the thing with all that. It doesn't matter, and this is me talking to Trump supporters too right now. It doesn't matter what you believe. It honestly doesn't even matter what's real. Mike Pence did not have the power to overturn the election. He just doesn't. Your interpretation of the Constitution is just bullshit. You should actually read it before you say this stuff.
Yeah.
The only thing Mike Pence could do was read the votes that were done by the states. So even if, hypothetically speaking, there was massive amounts of voter fraud, even if it was all laid out on a table with proof, and we knew this, Mike Pence couldn't do anything about it.
Yeah. That's very well said. That's, and I think Trump not going to the inauguration, which after what happened, I don't see why he would have. Now,
yeah, it's probably the best.
It was very good for Pence to go. I think it saved some face with him. Some respect a little bit. But I don't see him being elected. Period. Pence,
right.
Because of his ties with Trump. I think anything that has ties with Trump will never get any type of higher office, in certain areas of the government.
I think the opposite. I think what's going to happen, because they've effectively split the Republican Party right now.
Yeah.
You got the Trump supporters, and then you got the regular Mitt Romney type Republicans.
Yeah.
If you've looked and if you paid attention, the Trump supporters have more numbers.
They do. They have a good base there, but the problem is though the media does not want anything. And how you said before, the mainstream media does not like Trump whatsoever.
Right.
And they can sway that election. You know what I'm saying? That's why I think that. Not that they don't have good candidates or they don't belong there or anything like that. I think Nikki Haley is probably the one person out of the whole group that served in that the realm around Trump to have a shot of anything.
Right.
Now the lady that's running for Arkansas governor, she was the press secretary. What's her name? Huckabee's daughter.
Oh yes, Sarah.
Yeah, she ain't got a shot. Now maybe in Arkansas, yes, Arkansas, you got a shot. Okay, but anything outside of that, yeah, you're shit out of luck on that. But I don't know. I just think the media would have a lot to say with that. Like, oh, here's one more. They could cure cancer and like, oh, guess what? You started on Trump.
Yep.
We don't like you.
Didn't cure it quick enough.
That's
energy 2018.
That's probably what would happen. I could be wrong. I hope I'm wrong in a way. I think there are some good people, but majority of those people, no, they have no business going, or they just, I don't know.
Nah, I agree with you. I really should have worded that better earlier too when I said the election wasn't stolen. Because if you think about it, it was stolen for Biden by the media.
Yeah, all the media's been swinging things for a long time, not just here.
Yeah.
When you go back to Germany in the 30s, or so. I wouldn't really say the Soviet Union, but I mean propaganda on either side. Period. It's been used throughout history to sway things, to get people to think one certain way. But it's hard to say. It's really hard to say what will happen in 3 years' time, 2 years' time, who will be running. But the Republican Party's got a lot of thinking to do.
They do.
They got a soul searching to do. They got to find out, hey, what party are we? Are we what happened in January? Are we that party? Or are we the party that freed slaves and did everything like that? Are we that party? Or are we the Reagan of the 80s? What are we? You know what I'm saying? When that happened, I was so glad that I left the Republican Party. I left back in like 2015.
Right.
Like that. And I was so glad that I was not a part of that. I think it just got a shit name now. I think there are some good people, but I think for the most part, that party has a lot of soul searching to do.
It does. And there's been a lot of people more recently doing the same thing. They've switched from Republican to Independent.
Yeah, I'm not a Democrat by any means.
That also happened in 2016 after the primaries. A lot of Democrats switched Independent when Bernie got fucked over.
Yeah, and I don't think we're any to the 3-party, 2-party. I just don't see it happening right now. At least maybe 10, 20 years from now, we might have a 3-party system or maybe a 4-party system. I don't know. But
I think it's coming. I think it's coming within the next 2 to 3 years. I really do. I think that Trump's going to take a few more weeks off. He's going to pop back up with the Patriot Party, and shit's going to get real fun.
Yeah, he just like that. Just like it just throws.
He doesn't like to lose, man. He's going to be back. He doesn't like to lose.
It just throws mud on the word patriot. You know what I'm saying?
It does. Oh, I agree with you, but we're talking about fucking QAnon supporters. They don't have super critical thinking skills. That's the best they could come up with.
That's crazy, man. Like,
I'll send you the screenshot of me making jokes about that shit back in like September. I was like, they're gonna call it the Patriot Party because that's how original that is.
Oh, that's original, right? I mean,
it's super original. Yeah. It's kind of like the Patriot Act. You put something cool on it, and you expect people to see through the bullshit.
Yeah, that is so true about the Patriot Act. It's like,
good tactic.
Patriot Act, and it makes people like, oh, okay. If I would be a good patriot, I gotta follow it.
Right.
Now, at the time, yeah, you could, you could have done anything and people would follow it.
Yep.
Do that.
You can make the Helping Sick Puppies Act and put in there that you can just execute people for any reason. They'd be like, look, it's the Help Puppies Act. Yeah. It's just the wording.
Man, that's crazy though. I'm curious to see what happens with that. But
I really think it's coming. I do. I don't know if Trump's going to lead it. I'm leaning towards Donnie Jr.
Oh God.
But but it's coming.
What? Are you serious?
Yeah, no, dude, I'm dead serious. There's going to be a Patriot Party. It's going to be led by the Trump family. Most likely Donnie Jr. They're going to just cut the Republican Party in half, And then what's going to happen is you're going to get to the election time. The Trump supporters aren't going to vote Republican. The Republicans aren't going to vote for the Trump supporters, so the Democrats going to win again.
So
I
you're gonna
don't
have like a
think
92
I don't think they thought this through.
So you're gonna have like a 92 election type thing with
Which one's 92?
Bush, Clinton, and Ross Perot.
Yeah.
You know, even though Perot didn't win any electoral votes, but he had won like I think it was like 18 or 19% of the popular vote, which that took away. You take Ross Perot out of that, probably Bush wins. You know,
I mean, you got to think about it this way. And I know that's not how the elections are going, but just population-wise, this country has more Democrats than it does Republicans. So if you take this Republican Party and you guys just fight like they're doing right now and you split it in two, there's not going to be enough.
no.
Like, even if the Republicans run a great candidate, even if fucking Patriot Party somehow runs a great candidate, the other one's not going to vote for them. And the turnout's not going to be high enough to get past the Democrats. And all that's going to happen is that the Democrats are going to keep winning.
Yeah, that's I don't know. Unless, I mean, I think if I'm the Republican Party, you got to get somebody in there that's. I don't believe that it's going to be at extreme how you're saying it, as in like, you have this extremist not fascist, but extremist Republican Party or the Patriot Party, whatever you want to call it, on one side and this and that. I think in 4 years, I do want to think the Trump fad will fade out.
I hope, but
I do that because it has to. It has to fade out. In order for the Republican Party to be able to defeat the Democrats, you're going to have to. You can't have this two-party, fraction, whatever, and it's not going to work. It's just not. So
it's not.
You find somebody in the high 30s, low 40s, someone with new ideas. You need to come a little bit to the middle. This whole I'm not for weed. I don't, people's body, whatever. You gotta kind of loosen up a little bit. What I'm saying? Be for legalizing weed, but still have a strong military. This and that. You might not be for abortion or whatever, but you got to find common ground more. What I'm saying? To attract those younger voters. If not, Democrats are going to keep running away with this. I
True.
don't.
And I want to be clear on this. The Trump supporters need to just not jump on this board. But as far as those views go, that's what libertarian basically is.
Exactly, yeah.
And I've watched them the last 5-6 years. If they could get some better candidates themselves and get a little bit more exposure, I think a lot of people would come around to them.
Yeah. I mean, the thing is, like, you can't even vote in every single state. Like, they're not even on every single ballot,
Right.
I think it's maybe like, I think there's like 5 to 10 states. Maybe I have to look it up, but
Like that.
it doesn't have, it on their ballot. So yeah, you need to find somebody that's, young, new ideas. I think both parties need to do that.
They do.
There needs to be an age limit. There needs to be term limits on these senators in Congress. I think that would solve a lot of this issue that we're having, but that's not going to happen.
I mean, if you remember back during the election, the whole thing about Biden was he was supposed to be a moderate. Just through the whole primary, he was going to be the moderate. He wasn't too far left. He was going to work with the Republicans. And we're, 3 weeks in, and he signed 50 executive orders?
Yeah.
The guy's clearly not a moderate. He's clearly not.
I think he's more moderate than a lot of the newer realm of the Democratic Party is. I will say
he's definitely more moderate than like Bernie or AOC, but I don't think it's going to be enough. I think he's still leaning pretty far left, which, a lot of leftists like that. They do.
Yeah, I think.
And that just comes down to, your personal opinions. Everyone's got their own views.
Yeah, I think the main thing for the whole, I didn't see every single executive order that he did sign, but majority of those were the ones that Trump overturned when he first got in.
I went through the first 42-ish, give or take.
Oh.
About 25 of those were, it's so many. About 25 of those were COVID related.
Okay, so
I'm in no way defending executive orders. I fucking hate them. We got a Congress for a reason. But if 25 of them were COVID related, I get that. And then about 12 of them were undoing stuff Trump did.
Yeah. So when you say it like that, it's not as bad. When you say it like that, but
it's horrible on principle, but it's not as bad as if you don't pay attention to what it was actually in them.
Exactly. So the thing is, though, with that $1.9 trillion, I think it's needed. But what's in it? Like, what is this? Is this all 1.9? Is this all going to the American people? Or is this sending some pig shit to Pakistan? You know what I'm saying?
I'm pretty sure there's Pakistan pig shit in it.
That's what I don't like about it. You know,
right.
Any like the bill when Trump was still in office, the one that they came up with, they was sending so much shit overseas. Like, why are we doing that?
Right.
I've never understood that. Like, why, when we have people here starving, we have, vets homeless, we have a homeless problem, period, not just counting vets. We have a drug problem here, whichever, but we rather send millions of dollars overseas to people who don't really give a shit about us.
And again, I try and pick my words real carefully on this. Anyone who's interested, it's all public knowledge. You should see where our tax dollars go.
Yeah.
If you want to get pissed off, go look at where our tax dollars go. It's not where you think they go.
I'll try to find that link and I'll put it in the description on this video.
All right,
so,
cool. That'll work.
Or if you can find it, send it to me and I'll put the link in there. So if anyone wants to see where their hard-earned money goes, click that link in the description. We'll have it there for you. And it will shock you on.
It will. If you don't know what's going on, yeah.
Like, I mean, it's mind blowing. And I think if like the founding fathers or, Abe Lincoln, whoever, if they come back, they would shit bricks on the amount of bull that is going on, period. Not just in Congress, but spending. It's crazy. But I said, I'm not against the bill. I'm against what a lot's in it. We could spend $1.9 trillion here with people that need it, not overseas. I don't give a shit about them right now.
Yeah, at this moment. Yeah.
Until we figure out what we need to do for us. And that's the one thing, speaking of Trump, that's one of the things I did agree with him on. America first, man. And you start seeing Biden. Biden's even saying that now.
Yes.
We need to get American jobs. You know what I'm saying? So I'm glad that is still carrying over.
Yeah.
Shit with China, man, I'm telling you. Like,
China and Russia, man. Both of them.
I'm more worried about China than Russia.
I'm way more worried about China, but it's both of them. We got to be concerned with both.
It'll be both of them, but yeah, that's so,
they're going to ban this podcast in China now, right?
Oh, shit.
That's how that shit goes. Look at South Park.
I did actually. I remember back when I think it was before. No, this is right after the quarantine. Like, you could actually go on Twitter and you could go and type in like Chinese government Twitter pages, newspapers, and you could actually tweet with them. And like, dude, there's people that go crazy. Like,
really? Can you? Can you really?
Yeah. I mean, I've seen. Didn't you get blocked? You got blocked by somebody the other day, didn't you?
I get blocked by a lot of people. Fuck.
Didn't Biden? Did that?
No, Biden didn't do it. No, that was fake. No, that was fake. You weren't supposed to believe that shit.
He hadn't even been in office a month.
Dude, I'll tell you what did happen the other night though was I'll send you the tweet. He posted something at 8:30, and I told him to go to bed. Dude, the amount of fucking hate I got sent my way just for saying the president should go to sleep at 8:30. Dude, it was bad. I was just like, what is going on when you have the power to have these little fake ass anime pictures and just say whatever you want on the internet?
Man.
Dude, I spent 5 years going after Trump, but the hate I get from the left whenever I tweet stupid shit to Biden is just unbelievable.
Yeah. Oh, it's I do think that you get more hate when you go after the left. Anything.
You 100% get more hate. It's either you're 100% with us or you're the enemy.
Yeah. You can't even say, okay, I agree with you on this, but I don't agree with you on that. Nope. Right. That's one of the main problems that we have.
It is.
Like back in October, that one dude on Facebook, whatever his name was, I ain't gonna say his name. Yeah, that dude, like, man, it's a disease.
It is.
There's something not right in your head
to
make you go out and be like, oh, like, I don't even know you. You know what I'm saying? To do that, there's something not right in your head. Like, there's a chemical imbalance of some sort. I don't know what it is, but it's a disease of some sort. I don't know. Maybe they'll come out with something and call it. I don't know, but that's probably what I mean. It's crazy, man. Now you do get right, but it's definitely not as bad. I would go toe to toe with somebody on the right any day before I go to toe with somebody on the left, because it's just like there's no finding common ground with that. You can't.
There's really not. Yeah.
You could go back and forth for 2 hours, and they're going to keep going. They're going to keep going. Now on the right, you're like, okay, I agree with you, or agree to disagree, whatever. So.
I mean, dude, I try and tell everyone this. You're not always fucking right. You're just not. You're not always right. I'm definitely not always right. If you say something and someone gives you a good, well-reasoned argument with proof to go against it, if you double down, you're not learning anything. You need to accept that you're not always right. You got to learn from that. You got to improve from that. And dude, that happens to me all the time. I get in Twitter arguments probably every day. And it's not even so much about the trolling, but, I mean, trolling's fun, but it's not even that. Sometimes I win, sometimes I lose, but every time I go away from that going, hey, that's new. Hey, I learned that. I don't care if you're Republican, a Democrat, independent, it doesn't matter what your views are. You're going to have a set of beliefs. You're probably, if you're against abortion, you're against abortion. If you want a big government, you want a big government. But there are certain things that you're just not always going to be right about.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, and I hope, that this is like a phase. Maybe over time people will come around. But I think social media has a lot to do with a lot of these issues that we do have. Now I also want to get before we end today, I do want to get your opinion on the COVID vaccine. Like, where do you see, like, from right now, from next year, where do you see everything going? Do you see it's some type of herd immunity? Where do you see the end game with COVID?
See, the problem with that is, I don't know, for the simple fact that it's February 2021. So for over a year now, we've been lied to repeatedly by the CDC, by the government, by the states, everyone. And I don't think all of it was intentional. I don't think Dr. Fauci went on TV and went, hey, I'm going to feed them a load of bullshit just to do it. I think the problem was they didn't know enough. But with that said, all the repeated lies have put too much doubt in too many people's heads. And I don't know. As far as taking the vaccine, I think you should probably just take the damn vaccine. It's like wearing a mask. Why not? What's it going to hurt? You're not giving up your guns. You're not limiting your free speech. They're asking you to do one simple thing. Just do it. If you sincerely don't trust the vaccine, don't take it. But what I'm worried with that is we're going to get to a point where, like Ticketmaster, they're going to go, well, you can't go to this concert if you can't prove that you've been vaccinated. And that's their right, but it's also a really, really sketchy line that's going to have to be drawn.
Do you think someone would do that, though?
I know for a fact they're going to do it. They're going to do it.
Who was it? Cruises.
Yep.
Are doing that. Now, and I've always been that type of person. I am a least government guy. I want least restrictions. But company says, hey, you have to do this.
Right.
Cool. Whatever. You pay the taxes. I don't give a shit. I'll do it. And that's the thing. And some people in some places will do that, but I don't see it being that extreme because eventually this virus will die out.
Right.
Humans will get some type of immunity, regardless of even if the vaccine would have came out or not. All the vaccine did was kind of cut this short a little bit. Now, how short, we don't know.
Right.
For as long as humans have been around, viruses have been around. Viruses will outlive man, regardless of what we do with technology or anything. And eventually what the vaccine does is it creates some type of immunity for people, that need it, and over time your body will get accustomed to it. Now, will it be you have to get a vaccine every single year, like a flu shot or a booster shot every 10 years? We don't know. That's those are the answers that will have to come out.
That's the way that vaccine is now, right? You got to take it twice.
Yeah, the Moderna one you have to take twice. The Pfizer, I think it's Pfizer. You have to do now. Johnson, that one is only one time.
Gotcha.
Now the problem is with these variants that are out, which that's common. That happens with viruses. You go back to the Spanish flu, it morphs, it changes. You have, and your body's just got to get used to it. Your body's going to have to get accustomed to it. Now, so we'll see. But definitely we need to get people vaccinated in that sense, because if not, what that does is if you're vaccinated and you're vaccinated and she's not, the chances of you spreading it is slimmer, especially with everything, because that's the only way viruses can morph. They have to get into something to be able to change. Without that anywhere to go, they can't change. So, but yeah, I think eventually it will die out. It's going to have to,
Yeah, I mean, I'm definitely not an anti-vaxxer. I see the issues people are having when we've been told false information off and on for a year. I get being skeptical. I get not trusting it. But it's in our best interest to just do it.
Yeah. I mean, I'm still up in the air on it a little bit. I probably will do it. I'm not in a huge hurry for it,
Right.
Like I said, I've been stuck in the house the last 12 days. So
I mean, that is why I'm in this car.
Yeah. So I mean but I'm young enough, I'm not saying I'm immortal to it, or I'm what's the word I'm looking for? I'm not immune to it or anything like that. But I think the vaccine first needs to get to people that don't have that luxury.
Yeah, I agree with you on that.
Not hurry for it. If my time comes around for it, sure, But I'm not in a huge hurry for it. I think other people should get it first. But yeah.
Which while we're on COVID,
yeah,
because we were shitting on Trump for it, he's not the only one that handled that poorly either.
Oh no.
I just want to be clear on that before people start getting angry in the comments saying it wasn't just Trump. Yeah, it obviously wasn't just Trump. It was the state governments too. It was all of us individuals. What our point was on that was Trump was the president. It falls back on him.
Yeah, regardless of whatever goes on, at the end of the day, you are the leader. It falls on you regardless.
Yep. And if it's just exactly how it is right now, 6 months from now, I'll be back on here saying it's Biden's fault.
Yeah, so, but at the same time, I think, other governments were at fault.
Yep.
Looking at China a little bit.
China, yeah.
I feel like
a lot.
They could have, not saying that, I'm not saying this was cooped up in some lab that the Chinese government put it out. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is they could have, more details could have came out sooner.
Right. Well, we already know for a fact that they hid it and they lied about it.
Yeah, that's
they did. There's no defending it. We know for a fact they did that.
Yeah, so we'll see on that. But it's gonna be really interesting to see how it goes in the next, year, really.
Yeah.
Whether how it's going to affect sporting events, everything like that. I'm really curious to see that. Now, I don't know if you watched the UFC a couple weeks ago.
Which one? Poirier McGregor?
Yeah, McGregor, yes.
Yeah.
That was it felt so great to hear fans in the stadium, whether it was only like a couple thousand.
Right. It was limited, but they were back. Yeah, they've been back recently too.
Yeah, and it was nice. It was nice to be able to, not just hear them hit each other or their coaches. You know what I'm saying? That's nice. That's cool. But I want the fans. The fans make it, I know you don't really watch football,
Actually,
just football period, having fans in the stadium, it makes a difference. NBA, baseball, hockey, same thing. I'm just ready for fans to get back. And I think my guess is probably by the fall, I think you're going to see everything start getting back.
hopefully, yeah.
Hopefully, it's
I
always,
definitely,
vaccines and everything.
definitely noticed that with MMA there. There was a few different fighters who just had a really, really bad 2020. And I'm pretty confident in saying it was because they were fighting in empty stadiums. They didn't have the fans behind them. Because you get used to that mindset. You go in there, you have everyone cheering for you, and then you walk into silence and you just can't get in that moment. So it'll be good when they all get back.
Yeah. Look a little blurry there a little bit.
That's that damn sun, man. That sun. Did this at 3 p.m. instead of 6 o'clock at night like last time.
Yeah. But yeah, man, it's gonna be really interesting.
Hey, there we go.
There you go. Yeah, it's gonna be really interesting to see where everything goes with that. So I think there was one more thing. But yeah, I'm ready for this all to be over with.
Dude, you're not the only one. It's
I'm like staying off South Park, man. I just want to get everything back to normal.
That's what I missed the most. I hate saying it. I've missed South Park, man. They've done a 40-minute special in over a year.
So is that COVID related though, or they just taking a break?
It's got to be COVID. They make that show in 6 days. I don't see how they're getting it done right now. Because the whole thing about South Park is, hey, this happened this week. Let's cover it this week. And COVID's kind of put a stop to that.
Yeah, because it's been everything.
Or they finally just said, fuck it. Let's just take 2 years off because we're beat and tired. Because, I mean, I can't imagine putting a show together like that.
Yeah.
They literally do start to finish 6 days.
Now, I will say this, man, movie-wise, possibly this summer, but definitely 2022. That summer, man, you're going to have a lot of good movies, I think.
You are.
I mean, you have Jurassic World. I know they got pushed back from COVID. I was kind of disappointed about that.
Yeah.
So, I mean.
I'm debating how I'm going to watch Kong Godzilla. I mean, do I really want to watch that on a computer? So they're putting it on HBO Max.
How are they doing that? Are they are theaters actually? I mean, I think they're, but I mean, how they?
To my understanding, they're going to do it simultaneously. So I don't know the exact date, but the day it comes out in theaters, they're going to put it on HBO Max for about a month.
Wow. You have to pay any extra, or is it just you just pay?
No, it's got to be subscribed to HBO Max.
Wow. So
it won't stay on there. It's going to be on there. I think they said a month, and then they're going to take it back off. But it's cool. It's a cool idea. I like it.
So how are they going to make money off of it?
I guess they're hoping their streaming revenue goes up. I guess they'll get more subscriptions, and they're not counting on those free trial things. I didn't say it because I don't want to fuck over HBO, but if you want to see any movie, new emails work. Just saying.
Yeah. That's funny. I mean, I honestly, I would have pushed it back. Honestly.
Right. I mean, there's certain movies that you're totally cool watching on a computer. But when you get those movies like Jurassic World and Kong versus Godzilla, it's not going to be the same. It's just not.
Well, yeah, that's why I was disappointed that Jurassic World got pushed back, but at the same time, I was kind of glad though. I was kind of glad, make it right. I won't be able to go to a theater to see it. There's another movie coming out that I do want to see in theaters. I think it was a Martin Scorsese movie. It's got Leonardo DiCaprio and Robert De Niro.
Oh, no wonder you want to see it.
Yes. There's not a lot of movies I go to the theaters to see. I'm not a theater guy. I don't like it. I don't like being I don't like being that close to other people a lot of times. But yeah, it's gonna be really good. I think it's gonna be a good summer next year.
I don't think I can't remember which one came out first. I think the last movie I saw was either It Chapter 2 or Jurassic World 2, whichever one came out first. I only go every couple years.
I think the last movie I want to say it was the last Jurassic World, 2017. That's what I'm saying. I don't know a lot. I really don't.
Yeah, I really don't either. Yeah, it was definitely it for me then, because that's newer than that.
Yeah. Man. So.
Yeah, it's not gonna be the same. I'm gonna sit there and watch Kong and Godzilla fight on a laptop. Just be missing it.
So speaking of Godzilla, did you see the one with Matthew Broderick in it? Did you think that was a good Godzilla, or do you?
You talking about the one with the baby Godzillas?
Yeah.
Yeah, movie's dog shit.
You didn't
dog shit. No, didn't like anything about it.
I thought it was a good. It wasn't a great movie. Okay.
It wasn't good at all.
Man, I thought, that's underrated.
Rewatch it.
No, I did back in March. I swear, I liked it. I mean, looking back at it, the CGI is a little off, but
right. I mean, I can get past that. But here's my thing with the new ones. I'm not going to pretend the new ones are any good either. I just like watching badass monster fights.
Yeah, I think they got away from basics though in the
Godzilla
'98. That's
that one's just off the rails, man.
Yeah, like the babies and like.
But even the new ones, that whole MonsterVerse they got with the two Godzillas in that Kong movie.
Yeah.
None of them were great, but they were awesome action-wise. Like I couldn't tell you the plot of that last Godzilla. He fought some badass fucking monsters, some people died, and that was it. But I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
You don't need a great, well-written story for Godzilla. You just need cool monsters.
It's true. I mean, I will say this. I don't know if we've talked about this or not, but King Kong, the Peter Jackson King Kong.
That one was good. That one was.
I like that one. I love the fact of dinosaurs in it. All the other animals, like Kong fighting the T-Rex and everything like that.
That one was good.
That one was,
honestly, Skull Island was really good too. It was actually better than those two Godzillas.
I've seen bits and pieces of it. Like I've seen like the animal looks like a tree and everything like that. And you got
it was good.
So they don't have any dinosaurs in that period. It's just all like different creatures of.
Yeah, it's just super weird monsters. Yeah, and I guess I can't remember the timeline. I guess it's like 30, 40 years before the first Godzilla because they got to set him up as a baby so this new movie makes sense.
Oh, so Godzilla's a baby.
No, Kong's a baby.
Oh, Kong's a baby. Okay, I got you.
Yeah, and that Kong Skull Island, he's a baby. Because how else is he going to be the size of Godzilla? Which I don't know. I don't know why they won't do this. They need to just team up and fight that fucking Cloverfield monster.
Cloverfield.
That's what I want, dude. I want a new Cloverfield bad.
I see the only Cloverfield I've seen was the one with John Goodman.
Oh, that's so good. You got to watch the first one, man. I don't even want to say anything about it for people who haven't seen it. Just watch the first one.
See, I've never seen it. I like I said, I've seen the one with John Goodman. Tell me what happened. What is that?
The first one?
No, what happened? Like when she got out. What happened?
See, that gets tricky because I'm going to ruin the whole franchise with that. Have you? There's a third one, right?
Yeah.
All right, fuck it. Spoiler alert on this. Here's what happened with Cloverfield.
Okay.
A long time ago, J.J. Abrams made this crazy-ass found footage movie. That's the first one. After that, his company started making films. John Goodman one. Then there's another one that's on Netflix called The Cloverfield Paradox. These movies didn't start out as Cloverfield movies. They were just random stories. And during the writing and filming, or however the process goes, they decided to just tack on the Cloverfield name and link them together.
Mm-hmm. So
that John Goodman film wasn't supposed to be a Cloverfield movie. It was supposed to just be a random thriller film. And at the end of it, they added in that, it took place in the Cloverfield universe. But that third one that's on Netflix, I'm not going to pretend to understand any of the scientific shit that was in this movie. But basically what happens in that one is they're in space.
Mm-hmm.
And they go through these wormhole type things. So there's all kinds of different realities. But in all the realities, the Cloverfield monsters came to Earth and just fucking destroyed things.
Ooh.
So they're... Again, I'm kind of butchering it. They're connected, but they're not really connected. So, like, the John Goodman one, it's 10 Cloverfield Lane.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't necessarily happen in the same Earth as the first Cloverfield.
Okay, so this is the deep shit right here.
Yeah, they went off the rails with it. I'm not gonna pretend it was the smartest thing they could have done, but I'm here for it because it's fucking awesome.
Yeah. Dang.
But
man.
supposedly they're doing a direct sequel now to the first one, so that should be dope.
Okay. Yeah. I'll have to sit down and I'll have to watch that.
The first one's the best monster movie I've ever seen by far. Especially if you can go into it not knowing. It's like 13, 14 years old now, but if you can go into that film without any spoilers about it, that movie's insane.
Okay.
I remember them marketing it too. They wouldn't reveal a fucking thing. They literally had a trailer and it was just Cloverfield, go see it. And people got to the theater and they started watching it, and dude, it's crazy if you don't know about it.
Wow, this Cloverfield. Come see it. They don't know what the hell the movie is.
Yeah, that's how they marketed it. That's really how they marketed. No one even knew. It was just Cloverfield. Here's a movie. Go watch it. Which, looking back now, is pretty brilliant.
Well, that's pretty good. That's man. I'm gonna have to watch those. Yeah, don't tell me any more about it. I want to see it. I'm gonna have to watch it.
Watch it. I'm telling you. I speak highly of that first one. The second one's really good too. The John Goodman one, it's great. That third one's kind of probably shouldn't have been made, but that first one, man, first one is awesome.
Well, we'll see, man. But yeah, man, I appreciate you coming back on. You know,
no problem.
It's always.
You know, what's going to happen next time, though, if you're not quarantining, I'm going to find like a third car and do it from. I'm just going to pick a different car every time.
Yeah, no, I'm.
Because this isn't a Kia. People can't tell. It's definitely not a Kia.
I should be off of it. I mean, technically, I ended up doing a 14-day, so I got like a day or two left, I think.
Gotcha.
But it hasn't been bad. I mean, both my roommates got it, so I didn't. I've been symptom free. I haven't had anything. There was a couple times I thought, but it's just your mind messing with you probably.
Yeah, without doubt.
I get to work from home and stuff like that. So it's not bad. It's all right. But yeah, man, it's going smooth. So next time I want to get you on here and get you in the studio and everything like that. I would show you, but it's a mess right now. So.
Oh yeah, you're good. I'll definitely do the next one in person.
Yeah, man. So, but yeah, man, be safe out there. Thank you again for coming on. It's always nice.
Oh, you're definitely anytime.
You're like a regular now, so.
I do got the record, don't I?
You do got the record. This is your third one.
You got the record.
But yeah, man, I do appreciate it. I appreciate you, man. You're a good friend and all, so I appreciate it.
I got you.
All right, man. I'll see you.
All right, peace.
All right, later.